गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः श्रीकृष्णाय ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्नाम् अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं. So we are looking at what are the obstacles that a devotee can face as he is on his journey, and here it was told in the 61st verse that such a devotee should not entertain any worry or anxiety in his life while he is moving around in the world, whether it be his relatives, whether be it his duties, whether it is his successes and failures. No excitement, no worries, no anxiety, and that way he'll keep his mind protected he'll keep his devotion protected from all these unhealthy areas where the mind could leak to. And then in the 62nd verse, na tat siddha loka vyavharo heyaha किंतु फलत्याग तत्साधनम न च कार्यमेव. Till such a consuming love is not gained, or having gained the consummate love, worldly activities are not to be abandoned. We must not make a decision to give up whatever life is presenting us to do. Then I want to be in meditation all the time. I want to sleep all the time. It has to happen. When you want to decide that I want to sleep, sleep will not come. When it comes, then you move towards it. When meditation comes, then you feel. Whenever those moments of inspiration come inside of you, that you feel like being quiet, immediately drop everything and sit down. But then I have to wash dishes. No, I feel like meditation. It will not come, only dishes will be clanging in your head. So not that way. So both ways. Even as a seeker, you must continue performing your duties. Still, all those duties and your work drop away of their own accord as a result of your intense love for the Lord, and wherein you are consumed by that love and you don't even you are not even aware of what is to be done, what is not to be done. What is to be done and what is not to be done appears as in our mind only as long as we are body identified. Once the body identification is dropped, from there on, it's you and the Lord alone. And for the other one, for the one who has already realized the love of his life, for him, he must also continue to work, because to be an example to the others that after realization of the Lord, it is not a lazy existence. कुछ नहीं कर रहे. But and there are Mahatmas who are like that, and that is okay. Dattatreya Maharaj is always lying there like a snake. खाना आ गया तो मुंह में खा लेंगे. नहीं खा. Food doesn't come, he will not eat. If someone says come to the palace, he will go. Then he will leave. Next one says come to my jhompadi, come to my hut, he will go there. So those are different caliber, but we see, let it be Jnaneshwar Maharaj, let it be Tukaram, let it be Mirabai, let it be Anand Mahima, let it be Ammachi. After having come to know who they are, they continue to propagate a life full of vigor, full of inspiration, full of service. It is not a lazy life. And looking at them, others can get spirited that yes, that is the way to live. But किंतु फलत्याग tat sadhanam na karyam cha karyameva. But certainly we must diligently pursue love and learn to renounce our anxiety to enjoy the fruit of our action. Meaning, throughout the journey, whether it is on the devotional path, in your love towards the beloved, or it is all the jobs and duties and work that you are doing in your daily life, one must renounce the fruit of the action. That alone will bring about the purity of the mind. That alone will bring about the giving up of doership. That alone will bring about the witnessing, and that as a result of this witnessing is nothing but the devotee incessantly remaining in loving remembrance of his beloved. And then another warning was given in the 63rd Sutra, Stri Dhana Nastika Vairi Charitram Na Shravaniyam. Do not listen to the opposite sex, do not think of opposite sex, do not associate with opposite sex more than necessary, otherwise it will have a negative impact on your sadhana with regards to your journey towards the beloved. And then dhana, also same attitude towards the wealth also. Those people stay away or get away from there, from such a people who are continuously talking about wealth, investments, etc., etc. Also, protect yourself from those people or the influence of such people or talk of such people who are nastika. Nastika meaning those who are non-believers of the divine Lord. And because whatever company we keep, we start feeling like that, yeah, that is the right thing. If you stay, I see so many people at age 65, 70, 75, they come to hear the laughing club and they go and join it. Another hears, Hey, Sri Ravi Shankar has just come and let's go and do pranayam. At age 70 you want to go and do pranayam, you will die quickly, you will not survive. And they go and join, and then all the problems start happening. Because the moment you start doing pranayam and all those kriyas, things have to move inside. And when they start moving, then God save you. But that inspiration. So whatever company we keep, immediately we start thinking in the way the group is thinking. So protect your mind. Take the easy way. Remember the Lord. And let Him decide what you need to go through or not need to go through. And Vairi Charitram, do not associate with enemies or bad elements of the society because they can have a negative impact on your mind. They can make you like themselves. Instead, so how do I go? How do I live in this world? Is it possible for a seeker to live in this world? How long will I keep running away from women, from wealth, from Nastic people, from bad people in the society? The society is full of these only. Then what do I do? So here it was told that you maintain, live in the world but do not get affected by it. And he said, what? Put yourself a balm, a oil. And when you have put oil, oil does not stick to anything, does not allow the waters to wet you. So you put the oil of Narayana Japa in your mind, and as a result, wherever you are, whatever work you are doing, whoever you cannot decide who is going to come into your life, but you can decide this much, that your mind is continuously chanting the name of the Lord, and that becomes the protective layer which does not allow your mind to be affected by the world. And with this we come to the 64th sutra, Abhimana Dambhadikam Tyajyam. Abhimana Dambhadikam Tyajyam. Pride, vanity and such other negative urges of the mind should be given up. Sage Narada continues with these methods of practice, wherein he is teaching us what else we need to give up and protect ourselves from. How can this devotion and be cultivated and developed within our heart? How can we grow in our devotion if the pride, vanity, etc., all these are still there in our heart? How will your personality expand? It is not possible, and therefore these negative this kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, all these have to be given up. Without giving up, no further growth is possible. In Sutra 65, tadarpita khilacharaha san. Tadarpita akhilacharaha san. Kama krodhabhimanadikam tasmin eva karni. Kama krodhabhimanadikam tasmin eva karni. Tadarpita akhilachara san. Kama krodha abhimanadikam tasmin eva karni. It says, having dedicated all activities unto him, one should turn all his desire, anger, pride, etc. towards him alone. So having renounced the bad company, the outside forces, in the first two verses, three sutras, now we see Narad Muni is taking to the problems inside us. And the inside is the pride, envy, etc. Same thing exactly. What is Yama? Not disturbing the world, not getting disturbed by the world. That was given in the first two sutras. Exact, but in a different way. Same thing is given in in Bhagavad Gita also. And now he is going into the inner niyama. Niyama is where you don't become a problem to yourself. And what is that which becomes a problem to your own sadhana? Your own shortcomings. And what are those shortcomings? Your arrogance, your vanity, your pride, your anger, your desire, your jealousy, your hypocrisy, your arrogance, all these need to be given up. Otherwise, if they are normally, what do we do when these come up? We express it out there in the world. Naradji is giving us a different way. He says, surrender them to the Lord. How do you surrender them to Lord? Become angry with the Lord. Become jealous with the Lord. No. When they are expressing you are not deciding to be angry, but it's coming. Direct all that towards the Lord. Direct the jealousy towards the Lord. Meaning, it's not that you are seeing the picture, I'm jealous of you. No. You keep chanting the name of the Lord. Allow those negative traits within you to be offered as a sacrifice into that continuous flow of remembrance, the loving remembrance of the Lord. And slowly, when the Lord wants, all these negative traits will go away. So all that we do in our life, not only the work outside, but also all the thoughts within, they all should be surrendered, dedicated at the feet of the Lord. Always remember the Lord first and then do anything else. When we start a class, we remember Om, we remember Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, we remember the Satchidanand Rupaya, we remember Krishna, we remember that it is because of His grace that this mouth is speaking, this ear is hearing, these eyes are seeing, this body is sitting. And this way, after these three prayers, there is nothing else to be done. Only just be. The rest, everything is happening, isn't it? Story over. So, otherwise we will become Hiranyakashipu. Satchidananda Rupaya Vishwapatyadi Hetave Tapatre Vinashaya Shri, whatever your name. Rupaya Vayam Namaha. You pray to me, I am the teacher. You pray to me, I am your God. Some parents say that to their children. Matru Devo Bhava, it is told. You have to pray to me as God. But you behave like one, automatically the children will behave. You can't demand respect from anyone. You can't demand devotion from anyone, isn't it? But scriptures said it, yes, scriptures say, but it is not a demand. So in this way, a sincere devotee, a dedicated seeker who is convinced of his destination, who is in love with his Lord, dedicates all his physical, mental, intellectual capacities at the feet of the Lord. And in this way, and as he keeps surrendering, his love keeps expanding. That we saw before. Moment to moment it keeps expanding as long as you are surrendering. And in that expansion, he forgets that even he has to surrender anything. It all keeps happening. Everything is happening. In your love for the sleep, the entire world is surrendered as a sacrifice into that thought of the sleep. Isn't it? Do you think that I have to offer the position that I am sleeping in into the sleep? No. That I have to offer my attachment to my duna. It's so cold, but I have to offer it to the sleep. No. You keep thinking of the sleep, and all distractions from the world, from outside world to the inside world, everything keep getting swallowed in that love and devotion towards the Lord. It happens. Initially you have to begin, but as the momentum increases, as the expansion starts happening of the love, automatically it's like a vacuum. Everything will be sucked away. Every thought will automatically be offered at the altar of the love. And in this way, there is all the instruments through which the identity is maintained are one by one surrendered to the Lord, wherein the devotee forgets who he is, except the other than that he is, he and the Lord remain. Then all his instruments at that stage, all his instruments become an instrument for the Lord to function through. Because he is not there saying that I am this body and I am this mind and I am this breathing person and I am this thinking person. Or he's got no idea. Because the only theme in his mind is the Lord. And this is not very difficult to understand, because even little bit of chanting we do, and today also we sat for some time for meditation, and in that meditation there are moments where you are totally unaware of where you are sitting, where you are, in what position you are, where your hand is, where your leg is, are you wearing a shawl or not, are you inside a room or outside a room, do you have to have a breakfast or have you had breakfast? Nothing. Only your mind is with that divine, isn't it? So it is happening. It needs to expand. And it will only expand when we initially start offering everything, all our shortcomings to the Lord, all our work to the Lord, all our projects to the Lord, without expecting any result, without expecting any fruit. Because if you accept fruit, if the attention is on an expectation of a result, then the individuality will again start becoming concretized. And this way, the moment Lord sees that this fellow is available, and well, Lord will see later on. Right now, the seeker is surrendering, and all his, if at all we can say this, he becomes an instrument for the Lord to function through him. He wants to expand that capacity more and more and more and more. And in this way, the whole mind of ours is made up of only these. All the thoughts that appear in our mind, all the thoughts, they are nothing but tentacles of anger, greed, jealousy, envy, hypocrisy, arrogance, pride. It's only expansions of these. These are the 6-7 main root thoughts out of which the rest of the mind is maintaining itself. So is there no chance that I can get rid of my mind? It is. But you as an individual cannot get rid of the mind. It is impossible. It can only happen through grace. But that is what is required. If I am living in this world, I need thoughts. Isn't it? You need thoughts to live in this world. Yes, let them come. Offer them at the altar of the Lord. Offer them at your altar of the love, and continue moving forward. Eventually, the mind will get in, and this practice has to be maintained. And eventually, as everything, all these tendencies within the mind, all these thoughts within the mind become lesser and lesser and lesser, the mind becomes quiet. And in that quiet mind, the mind is there, but slowly, the individuality is is melting away, and only divinity is remaining. Because this individuality is something which is imagined on that divinity. And when this mind is in a continuous flow towards that divine theme, then only the divinity remains. And it's only by its grace that all these tendencies which are keeping our individuality intact can be melted away. By our own will, by our own efforts, this will not happen. And yet, the effort of remembrance that and what is that we have to remember? Not that while working I have to remember the Lord. No, then your attention is on the work. When I become angry, I have to remember the Lord. Then you are remembering anger. The Lord will not come. You have to remember the Lord automatically, and you have to make a commitment to yourself that I'll remember Him 24/7, 365 days a year. Then everything starts getting offered to Him of its own accord. Just right at the beginning, if we say that you have to control your mind, you have to control your senses, and start taking the name of the Lord, if the love is there in our heart for the Lord, automatically the feeling inside that I must control my senses, I must not get distracted by anything in the world, because I want to be only with the Lord, this feeling will automatically come. And when it comes in this manner, then automatically the strength to withdraw also comes. Why? Because you have a higher ideal in front of you. When there is no higher ideal and you just want to withdraw from the world, then what do I do after that? That is the problem. And therefore, as we said, love is its own conclusion, and therefore Sage Narada is saying that all these negative forces, all these negative tendencies within our mind, if they are not checked, if they are not surrendered to the Lord, they will become destructive forces and ruin you. And what is the ruination of a person? Becoming arrogant, having a big ego, and that ego will eventually, its expression is only becoming miserable or excited, and therefore such a devotee must surrender them to the Lord and sublimate them. You can suppress them through pranayama, you can through willpower, but that is not the solution. But if it works initially for you by using pranayama, do it. Find out what works for you. But after having controlled it through superficial means, that energy which has been harnessed, it must be directed, that mind which has become free from those thoughts must be directed towards the feet of the Lord. Then alone sublimation will happen, otherwise not. In the Sutra 66 he says, Trirupa Bhanga Purvakam Nitya Dasa Nitya Kanta Bhajanatmakam Prema Karyam Premaiva Karyam Trirupa Bhanga Purvakam Nitya Dasa Nitya Kanta Bhajanatmakam Prema Karyam Premaiva Karyam. Going beyond the three factors of experiences, Trirupa Bhanga Purvakam, love consisting of constant service, as in the case of a devoted servant or wife, alone should be practiced. What do you mean by only wives have to do service, husbands? No, it means both. It means both. Conservation of language is used. So when they say Kama Krodhadi, means all other five they don't have to mention. You understand that it is a set thing. So when they say wife, immediately we should not go, what about women's liberation comes up? No. Men are included. Men are always included in the word woman. Isn't it? Same way. So here it is said that we must pursue to cultivate the love alone, love consisting of constant service. Our devotion to the highest, our devotion to the truth, our love for the beloved Lord will alone bring about its own fulfillment. Nothing else can bring us fulfillment. No other possession, no other action, no other possession can ever bring us that fulfillment. And the attitude that we need to have in order for this fulfillment to happen while we are the seeker is, here it is told, Nitya Dasa, be an eternal servant of the Lord. Who is the eternal servant of the Lord? Who is a servant of a master? A servant's quality is that he is always dedicated to the master and he always respects the master. Isn't it? Otherwise he will be thrown out of the job. If he doesn't, anytime he is not working, Deva, what are you doing? I am paying you and you are not doing anything. Otherwise the servant comes, the master comes. aa gaye phir se. Again you have come to the home, again troubling me. I can't even have 5 minute rest. All day I have been working. Can a servant speak like this? Here it is difficult. In Australia you don't have that system. Everyone has to work their own. The boss also has to do his own driving. The boss also has to do his own posting of letters. There is no assistant for him. PA is there. Yeah, PA is there, no? यहाँ पे PAs are there? Yeah. Only top bosses. But if they are not performing, they are not able to, they are not in tune with the boss, then they lose the job. So Nitya Dasa. There was one who, Jani Bai ke Jana Bai? Zana Bai. Zana Bai. She was born to a Shudra. It is the same time as Jnaneshwar Maharaj and Namdev Maharaj. She was born to a Shudra family. And the father of that daughter, he had a dream that she has to be given to the family of Namdev Maharaj, whose story I told you one day. So as she grows up little bit, he goes to their house and he says, because Namdev's parents were tailors, his father was tailor. He said, I had a dream and I have to give you this daughter. In those days, this is how it used to function. So they said, without any problem, well, we didn't get the dream, only you got the dream. Nothing like that. You got the dream, Namdev Maharaj said, take it. And she was kept there. And she grew up like a daughter of the house because Namdev Maharaj did not, he was also from the Vaishya class, business class. And she grew up, and as she grew up, every day there is Sankirtan going on in the house, Jnaneshwar Maharaj coming every second week into the house, other saints coming in, Namdev Maharaj every day sitting in puja, chanting the name of the Lord for hours together. And from childhood she has been exposed to all this. And as she grew up, she was doing exactly all the points that are given here. She used to do. She used to do all her work. She's doing the sweeping. Ram Krishna Hari Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hari. And suddenly while chanting and doing the sweeping, the hand will stop sweeping. And she is in that position only. And the mind has absorbed into the Lord. Then she is using the, she's pounding the rice or grains, and she's doing Ram Krishna Hari Jai Jai Ram Krishna, and suddenly it stops. And everyone started saying, "Arey, what is happening to her?" Then she's grinding, and everything used to stop. Now it is a problem. She is a servant in the house, and she's not doing her job. And how to do, what to do, nobody was saying anything. Namdevji was also not saying anything. And one day she became so troubled that she is not doing her work, offering a Nitya Dasa, the feeling that I am a servant and I must serve the Lord. And she was in pains that I am not able to do my work for the master of the house. And she called out from the depths of her heart, Panduranga, why? Vithala, why you are not coming? Why you are troubling me and not letting me do my work? I will get into trouble. And she used to cry, and one day when she was doing, she saw Vithala sitting next to her. He has put his hand on her hand. He said, "You keep remembering me." And the grinding went on, and he's putting the grains. And what job used to take 1 hour, 2 hours, in 5 minutes it was over. He says, "You take the name of, you remember me, I will do the sweeping of the house." He said, you keep remembering me, and I will do the pounding of the grains. All the jobs used to finish within a trice. and she's enjoying and enjoying and enjoying. And when Namdev Maharaj, when Namdev Maharaj came to know that who is singing this from inside the house, because he is also lost in the divine love. He said, "Who is this?" And he saw, "Arey, this is our Jani." And from then onwards, she continued doing her work, and it used to be done very quickly. And rest of the time what she is doing? She is spending with Namdev and Jnaneshwar Maharaj, and became one of the great saints of the country. We cannot run away from our whatever needs to be done in life. Do it, but offer it as service to the Lord. You have to serve. So first is the attitude of a servant, where respect, reverence and dedicated activity for the Lord. The second attitude is Nitya Kanta. Nitya Kanta is like a eternally devoted wife or eternally devoted husband. What is that Nitya Kanta? She is also having respect for the husband. She is also having reverence for the husband. She is also dedicated to the husband. But there is one extra thing within her heart, and that is she has the love in her heart for her husband. And that love at times can appear as possessiveness, which a servant will not have, isn't it? So when we pray to the Lord, we should know, you are mine and nobody else. If this feeling is there, it is fantastic. It will take you even further. If you have that love towards Him, initially only service, good. Mind is purifying. But when that aspect of love comes into it, the whole equation totally changes. So these are different two stages, first of a servant and then of a wife. These are the attitudes, and in this way, when what is the experience of a wife with her husband? That he is mine, that he is no one else's, that I am his, isn't it? That he is not far away from me, that he cares for me or she cares for me. If the husband is thinking that he is always concerned about me. So this way, when the devotee starts thinking that he is mine, he is not far away from me, he is concerned about me, he is taking care of me, he is always there for me, and I am also always there for him. And in this way, the love relationship, that we are never far away from each other. The wife never feels that way about the husband, even if he has gone to work. So same way this devotee also starts feeling. And when slowly as this devotion builds up, this feeling of the attitude of a wife reaches its zenith, the feeling of separation between, like Eknath Maharaj and his wife, she had no sense of feeling of separation from him. She knew exactly what he was going to think. एक दिल दो जान है हम. We are one heart and two lives, like that. When this type of feeling comes, understanding comes, dedication and love comes in the heart of the devotee, then the distinctions, whatever little distinctions, differences are left, between the which act as a barrier between the devotee and his beloved, they all start melting away. All start melting away of their own accord. This alone has to be achieved, nothing else. Everything else he will take care of. And therefore here it is written, what? Prema karyam, premaiva karyam. Love is the way, love alone is the way. Love is to be done, love alone is to be done. So cultivate this love within your heart. This alone has to be achieved. And in this manner, our Narad ji, he has he is directing us and our minds that only in this type of approach, in this way of surrender, in this way of offering all our shortcomings to the Lord, that our mind will be transformed from an individual mind into a divine mind. How it will happen? That's not your concern. All your concern is keep offering, keep offering, keep offering. Keep dedicating, keep dedicating. What do we say? God dedicated activities, isn't it? So activities we have to do. Dedicate them to the Lord rather than I am doing that. In this manner, prepare. In this way, chant the name of the Lord. In this way, when we turn these 6 negative qualities towards qualities or thoughts in our mind and offer them to the Lord or direct them towards the Lord, automatically they become positive forces and the mind goes through a transformation. That concludes this chapter of, what was it? Obstacles to the practice. And the next topic is the glories of the sage. How does this sage function once he has come to know the divine? Who are these sages? What is their glory? That topic will be taken in our next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Swagatam Krishna Sharanagatam Krishna. Swagatam Krishna Sharanagatam Krishna. Swagatam Krishna. Check. Swagatam Krishna Sharanagatam Krishna. Sharanagatam Krishna. Swagatam Krishna. Swagatam Krishna Sharanagatam स्वागतं सुस्वागतं शरणागतं कृष्णा स्वागतं सुस्वागतं शरणागतं कृष्णा स्वागतं कृष्णा शरणागतं कृष्णा स्वागतं कृष्णा शरणागतं कृष्णा स्वागतं कृष्णा शरणागतं कृष्णा शरणागतं कृष्णा स्वागतं सुस्वागतं शरणागतं कृष्णा स्वागतं सुस्वागतं शरणागतं कृष्णा स्वागतं कृष्णा 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 शरणागतं कृष्णा स्वागतं सुस्वागतं शरणागतं कृष्णा स्वागतं सुस्वागतं शरणागतं कृष्णा स्वागतं कृष्णा शरणागतं कृष्णा स्वागतं कृष्णा शरणागतं कृष्णा Swagatam means welcome. Where? Welcome into my heart, into my life. Suswagatam. I sincerely call you. Come, please come into my heart. Sharanagatam means I surrender to you. I am at your feet with no independent existence of my own. Swagatam Krishna Sharanagatam Krishna Swagatam Krishna Sharanagatam Krishna Swagatam Suswagatam Sharanagatam Krishna Swagatam Swagatam suswagatam sharanagatam Krishna Swagatam suswagatam sharanagatam Krishna Swagatam Krishna Sharanagatam Krishna Swagatam Krishna शरणागतं कृष्ण स्वागतं कृष्ण शरणागतं कृष्ण स्वागतं कृष्ण शरणागतं कृष्ण स्वागतं सुस्वागतं शरणागतं कृष्ण स्वागतं सुस्वागतं शरणागतं कृष्ण स्वागतं शरणागतं सुस्वागतं कृष्ण स्वागतं स्वागतं शरणागतं कृष्ण स्वागतं कृष्ण शरणागतं कृष्ण स्वागतं कृष्ण शरणागतं कृष्ण स्वागतं कृष्ण शरणागतं कृष्ण स्वागतं कृष्ण शरणागतं कृष्ण स्वागतं सुस्वागतं 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 शरणागतं कृष्ण स्वागतं कृष्ण 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 शरणागतं कृष्ण कृष्ण शरणागतं कृष्ण स्वागतं सुस्वागतं शरणागतं कृष्ण स्वागतं शरणागतं कृष्ण स्वागतं कृष्ण शरणागतं कृष्ण